Hey everybody, Scott Spreitzer here from DocSports.com. Welcome to Beat Vegas for Thursday, April 19th. We've got a free play coming up in the NBA playoffs in just a moment. And in fact, we've got our first best bet of the NBA playoffs going on today. Thursday's card, it's posted and available right now at DocSports.com. More on that in just a bit. Last night, we had the postponed game. We had the Cubs and baseball got postponed. We had one play in the NBA playoffs last night, a premium play, and we cashed with the Utah Jazz. They did what we said they had to on the video yesterday, in that they weren't going to be able to let Russell Westbrook go completely off like a typical Russ Westbrook game. And we also said that they had to clamp down on some of the players around him. For instance, Paul George. They did a great job defending George and came nowhere close to his 35, 36-point output in game one, 8 for 11 from the three-point line. So they did a good job of not letting the so-called role players around Westbrook go off and beat them. And here they are now going back to Salt Lake, tied at 1 game apiece. Also, we noted that the Utah Jazz owned the NBA's best defense, for the entire league over the last, I guess, month or so of the regular season. We saw it come together in last night's game in Oklahoma City. They were able to get the win, and we'll see continued adjustments made by both teams and have more thoughts on this particular series as we draw closer to game day right here on our Beat Vegas videos. As far as the first best bet going on, we're 2-1-1 so far in the NBA playoffs with premium plays. Our best bet, those are up over 120% in profit over the past 2 years. You don't want to miss out on the best bet at DocSports.com. Betting pattern in Thursday night's NBA game between the Sixers and Miami has been interesting, to say the least. This number opened 2, Philadelphia, of course, the road favorite, dropped down to 1 basically across the board. And right before cutting this video, we saw some 1.5 starting to pop up, with some money starting to come back on Philly now. This game happens to be our free play. We're going to talk about it at the end of the report in just a minute. But interesting betting pattern with folks coming in on Miami, because if you don't follow pro sports from a betting perspective, a lot of people would think that most would be backing the Sixers. That wasn't the case when the betting first started on this particular game. No Joel Embiid, it looks like, again for Philly at last check. He's listed as doubtful for this game. Listen, Miami did a great job in game 2 of not letting anybody outside of Ben Simmons beat them. Take away Simmons night, 10 for 17 in game 2. The rest of the team shot just 30 of 79. It's about 37% plus. And of course, Philly could not shoot threes to save their lives in game 2. That's kind of odd, because Miami's middle of the pack defending the tray. So while Philly may not drain trays like they did in game 1 in this particular game, I would expect that they're a little bit better than they were in game 2. They'd almost have to be. As far as the other 2 games on Thursday are concerned, I sound like a broken record, but I'll say it again. McCollum and Damian Lillard, they got to get it going from the opening tip in this one in New Orleans, because they've been pretty bad in the first 2 games, especially first half of game 1, where they combined to go 1 for 15. And somebody's got to come up and play some real defense against Drew Holiday, who went off in game 2. Golden State at San Antonio. The Warriors, a terrific shot to win game 3 and go on to the sweep. But we did see the Spurs play extremely well in the first half of game 2. And they even led at the half outright, in fact. Always tough to gauge a team when they're going through an emotional situation, tragic situation, like San Antonio is going into this game with Popovich's wife passing away on a Wednesday. What I look to do best in those kind of situations is these teams are probably going to be a little bit more focused and in the zone on the game itself when things like that happen. Being at your job, whatever you happen to do, if someone happens to pass, is a situation where, at least in my case, what I've been experienced around it, I seem to be more in the zone for at least a couple of weeks. So I don't think you factor that into the equation, and we wish nothing but the best to Pop, his family, the entire NBA family, for the tragic situation that happened on Wednesday. But I think you got to push that out of your mind when you're actually handicapping the game. I don't think it's going to be easy for the Warriors in game 3 on Thursday night. And if San Antonio were to win a game, this one would probably be it. As far as my free play for tonight, we're going to go back to that Sixers-Miami Heat game. We think laying less than 2 even up to 2 with Philadelphia is the way to go. I think the value, at least for us, lies on the road team 76ers. And again, we expect a much better shooting performance from the deep perimeter from Philly than we saw in Game 2. And Eric Spoelstra winning Game 2 after losing Game 1. That's what he and his staff do at Miami. They've been doing that for quite some time. We expect Philly to bounce back, take a 2-1 series lead with the win by more than a bucket on Thursday night. Don't forget, we have premium play in the NBA playoffs tonight. Our first best bet of the NBA postseason. We're off to a winning start with it to extend that 122% profit run with our best bets over the last 2+ years. Again, 5-unit best bet going on Thursday's card at DocSports.com. The play is loaded right now as we speak. All right, that'll do it for Thursday's report. You got your free play on the Sixers, minus 1.5 to 2 points. We'll be right back here on Friday before the crack of dawn. You know what to do. Put Thursday in the win column. We are Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com, back Friday morning with another version of Beat Vegas.